We
Morning.
are live. Good
Good.
morning. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Oh, we're good. We're
We are
good.
so excited to have you on.
I
Thank
am.
you.
I thank you. I'm. This is going to be a great topic that we'll get through the numbers really quickly.
Yeah.
We'll wait. We got 20 seconds. Trisha, did you have a nice weekend?
I did, yes. Low key.
Good, and good weekend. Eagles won. The Phillies won. It's a good weekend.
Good.
Crazy game. But all right. So what do you want to say?
No, go ahead. Go. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So we want to quickly get through these numbers because we do have Mike Thompson with Envoy Mortgage who is going to talk to us about, we'll get through the numbers first.
Yeah.
We'll leave them hanging. All right. So new active listings, a few more this week versus last week. Still not as much as a few weeks ago, though.
Yeah, kind of downward trending here. Coming soon. 63 this week, 66 last week. So again, staying kind of level there.
Yep. Then we have under contracts, less this week than last week. And we saw a downtrend last week compared to the week before as well. Yeah. So, I think that, again, we keep saying buyers are being a little more hesitant and not just jumping and moving as quickly as they will.
Especially with interest rates, which is where Mike's going to help us
out.
A little teaser.
So we got back on markets.
So we had 48 this week as opposed to 61 last week. So we are holding deals together. So that's good news.
And we are, back to doing inspections and negotiations. And I actually wrote up a reply to inspections last week. I was like, wow, I haven't written one of these in like a long time.
Yep.
Price reductions, not as much of those either.
But again, we've had less coming on the market. We've had less. So, just that overall.
Yeah. So, Michael, I'm so excited. You gave me a teaser last week, and Trisha, you're hearing some of this for the first time as well, because I know I did not articulate it as well as Michael had done it to me last week. But interest rates are continuing to rise, and you have presented to me a Buydown program. And I don't know if you want me to show your slide, if you want to talk first, because I do have slides that you have. But
we can sort of jump into it, and whenever you put up the slides, you put up the slides. But you take a look at what's happened to interest rates this year in the last 9 months. We started at 3%, and in a lot of cases we're above 7%, and in some scenarios there's even points associated with that. And I think you got to look at it a couple ways. And if you've been a home buyer during this process, you've seen your affordability go down probably by $60,000 or $70,000. Based on what has happened with mortgage rates. So that's one thing that home affordability has gotten hit. But you also have to take a look at where we're at rate-wise. We're pretty much at, since as long as they've been monitoring interest rates, the average rate is 7.1%. So it's not like we're where our parents were in the 70s, where, we had double-digit mortgage rates, and, we don't think we're going to go there. But inflation has been nasty to mortgage rates. So what we've been working on, and other lenders have been working on, are some different strategies. We have one now called the Seller Buydown. And really what this is a seller-funded program. So we would need seller's assist. That no one else can pay for this except for the seller. But what it is, it's a way for the seller to subsidize a buyer's mortgage payment. And if you want to go to maybe one of the slides there, I can sort of give a quick overview here.
Okay.
So there's 3 different ways to do this program. I'm going to touch on 2 of these. The one is what's called a 3-2-1 buy down. The other one's a 2-1 buy down. And then the other one is just a 1-year buy down. And in these examples, we're going to have a $468,000 loan amount. And let's just say the rate was 6.5%. And today's principal and interest payment with those numbers would be $29.58 a month. The way a seller buy down strategy works is if you take the note rate of 6.5% and you do a 3-2-1, well, the first year that you are paying on that mortgage, your rate's going to be 3 points less than the note rate. So instead of 6.5, you would be paying 3.5%. And what that does, it takes your mortgage payment down from $2,958 down to $2,101. So that's an $856 reduction. That's over $10,000 a year in savings to the buyer. And what happens is that $10,000 on that first year is subsidized by the seller. Now, at the start of the second year, the note rate would go up to 4.5%. And here, it's still $586 less than where we would be if they were at their normal rate of 6.5%. Then at the start of the third year, the interest rate would be 5.5% that they would pay. And again, the difference would be subsidized by the seller. And if you look at the bottom there, the total subsidy is $20,930. So really, that's the amount of seller's assist you would need to be able to do a 3-2-1 buy down. Okay. Now, if you look at the left-hand side, I put in parentheses the percent amount of seller's assist you would need here. Any idea why I would do that?
Well, because back in the day, depending on what type of loan it is, you can only get so much seller's assist. So you can get up to 6% with one type of loan and only 3% on another.
So these are, with our program, these are for conventional loans right now. And the way that seller's assist works is unless you put 10% down, the most seller's assist you can get is 3%. So in this illustration, and for most illustrations to do a 3-2-1 buy down, you're almost going to need to put 10% down. So that's why I wanted to mention it on this slide.
That was actually, I was thinking that when you were talking about because if this was what type of loan this had to be for that. So
yeah. So again, in a nutshell, in year one, the buyer would make the payment of $2,101. And this $20,930, the day of settlement, goes into an escrow account with our loan servicing department. Okay. And they also, so that the buyer sends in $2,101, and then from the escrow account, we pull $856. So still the mortgage payment of $2,958 gets paid, right, but it's now coming from the buyer and also from the seller subsidy.
Gotcha.
Right. Now, one of the things, Mike, that we had talked about is okay, in this market, are you going to get a seller's assist? And this could be very beneficial to a seller because you've got buyers out there that may need this, and you could market as a listing that you're providing this, put it where you've already taken into account what you're helping the seller with. But next slide, should I move to it?
You can. It's so this is, again, same loan amount, same note rate, same monthly payment. This just shows the 2-1 buy down. So year one, instead of 6.5%, the buyer would be paying at a rate of 4.5%. They're still saving $586 a month, and that's what the subsidy would be. So it's about a $11,000 seller's assist here. It's 2.13%. You could still get 3% seller's assist and pay off additional closing costs with that extra money. But I wanted to give you both examples.
That's great. Yeah, so we were talking a little bit before. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Let's do that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So a couple different ways to look at this is, if you have a new listing, let's say, and if you want to attract attention to that, well, market a 3.5% interest rate and see what happens. I think you would get a lot of interest.
For sure.
Now you got to get the seller involved, but if you take a look at the math, and let's just say that if they did that first option, they were thinking about a $20,000 or $21,000 seller's assist versus a $20,000 price reduction. If you go back to that slide, I don't know if that's possible, but if they lowered the purchase price by $20,000, that would probably knock the payment down about $130 a month. Whereas here, it's $856 a month with doing the temporary buy down. So that's really the big difference there.
Yeah, that's huge.
So price reductions is one on the sell side. To attract attention to listings would certainly be the other option there. But think of it from a buyer's perspective. Imagine if, you had student loans that were ending in 2 or 3 years, or a large car payment that ends in 2 or 3 years, and how this makes things affordable. Or let's say you have a renter that is just concerned because they're buying their first house. They're now a dual income family, and maybe their rent right now is $1,300, but it's going to go to, let's say, $2,700, and they're just worried about how to adjust to that big, larger payment.
Right.
Well, this is a way to sort of ease them into that larger payment in 1 or 2 years and get a payment that's still certainly manageable for them. Now, a couple things. We do qualify off the note rate. So it's not like we're qualifying off of the lower rate. Here's the other thing. I would say that the chances of rates going back down in the next 3 years is probably greater than not. So you can also refinance out of this program, and whatever's remaining in the escrow account is applied as a principal reduction. So you don't lose that money. So that's also something really important to understand.
It's
That's
just
awesome.
It is. It's really exciting to just think outside the box of being able to assist buyers that might be struggling, because I mean, we used to do sellers assist. It was just something that existed.
Yep. And what you'll see in this market is, yes, and we just saw from the numbers that you guys reviewed that demand is still there. So maybe we have to go above asking price in certain scenarios to get these sellers assisted to do these types of programs. But again, if it's presented properly to the sellers, that's where I think that it's just going to make sense. It's a win-win for both parties. And that's something you just don't see a ton, where it's a true win-win, where, hey, the seller can still get the price they want to be able to sell the house, but also we're helping a first-time buyer. And they don't need to be a first-time home buyer. This happens to anyone, but they're getting into a home at a dramatically reduced payment for a year or two. And it's not for everybody, but for those that are payment sensitive because of what's happened to rates this year, this is a great alternative that they need to hear about.
And I'm glad that we had the opportunity to present it, Michael. Thank you very much. You always come with so much knowledge, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Good.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have any additional questions and you want to know more about this program, Mike, how can they reach you?
You can reach me. My only number is 215-681-8407.
All right. And then if you find out that you can get pre-approved for this program, call Trisha and I to help you buy.
There you go.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Thank you. Have a good week.